Imagine this. You've just married your college sweetheart, a kind mining engineer, and together you move across the world. But then you discover something unbelievable. Your husband is actually a prince in his home country. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, for Inge Sargent, this was her reality. But what went wrong? Did she betray him? Or was royal life just too much to handle? Let's dive into the true story of why this European woman left her prince behind. The love story of Inge Sargent and the Prince of Seepaw is legendary, especially in Shan state. Whether through stories passed down by older generations or from local history, everyone in the region knows about the couple. Inge, who became Princess Mahadevi Dusandi, was married to a prince who was imprisoned during a military coup in 1962. This is the tale of how their love took a tragic turn. Inge Eberhard, later known as Sao Nong Tuisandi, the Princess of Seepaw, was born in Kartnen, Carinthia, Austria. It was 1951, and Inge had already endured the hardships of Nazi occupation in Austria when she received a Fulbright scholarship to study at Colorado Women's College in Denver. Around the same time, from 1949 to 1953, Sao Kye-seng, the Crown Prince of Shan State, was also studying at the Colorado School of Mines, earning a degree in mining engineering. By his request, the rector at the university kept his royal identity a secret. He wanted to live as a regular student and experience normal life. It was during this period that Inge and Sao Kye-seng met and fell in love. Inge had no idea that the man she was marrying in 1953 was a prince. A year later, by Christmas, they were on a ship from Liverpool to Rangoon, Myanmar, ready to start a new life in his home country. Inge believed she had married a mining engineer. However, when they arrived at Yangon's port, she was taken aback to find a large, excited crowd awaiting their arrival. The people stood on the shore, dressed in their finest clothes, holding banners, throwing flowers into the water, playing music, and cheering loudly. At that moment, confused by the grand reception, Inge asked aloud who they were welcoming. It was then that Sao Kye-seng revealed the truth. He was the Prince of Seepaw, and she was now his princess, titled Sao Nong Thusandi, Mahadevi of Seepaw. Smiling, he explained that he had kept his royal status hidden because he wanted her to marry him for love, not for his title. Inge, though shocked at first, understood his reasoning. When the couple arrived in Seepaw in 1954, they were greeted by curious locals, especially focused on the new princess. The prince had chosen a European woman, despite there being 8 beautiful local women eagerly awaiting his return. For many, it was surprising and even shocking to see a young European lady as their new princess. Sargent was officially crowned queen when they returned to Shan State. On November 2, 1957, in the Palace of Seepaw, the couple was formally installed as Sao Palong, Great Lord of the Sky, and Mahadevi, Celestial Princess of Seepaw. After settling in Shan State, Inge devoted herself to learning the Tai Yai language and became fluent in it. She also worked hard to improve education and healthcare for the people of Seepaw. Together, the royal couple represented a new generation of thinkers who were committed to the development of the state. One of Princess Inge's first projects was to organize village fairs, using the profits to build what became the most modern and well-equipped maternity clinic in Shan State at the time. Her husband, Sao Kye-seng, who had studied in the US, introduced fresh ideas to reform the old feudal system. He was renowned for modering Seepaw by giving land back to the farmers, fighting corruption, and enhancing local education and healthcare. However, he also became known for resisting Burmese military expansion in Shan State, his refusal to fund the military, and his bold defiance of a humiliating order from General Ne Win, who demanded that the prince wait by the roadside to greet him, likely sealed his tragic fate. Sao Kye-seng bought tractors and farming equipment for local farmers to use at no cost, and introduced new crops through his own agricultural research center. His title, Saufa, Lord of the Heavens, gave him sovereignty over Seepaw State, historically one of the most important of the independent Shan states. Despite his feudal position, Sao believed in free speech and equality, using his power and resources to improve the lives of Seepaw's poorest citizens. His background in mining engineering wasn't just for show. He launched mineral explorations in Seepaw and used the profits to fund his development projects. Kyae-seng's vision was to reduce poverty, tapping into Sipa's rich natural resources. During his time abroad, he embraced democratic values, sharply contrasting with the traditional and sometimes antiquated rule that had long governed Sipa. Together, the royal couple had 2 daughters, Mayari and Kanari, and their dedication to their people made them beloved figures across Southeast Asia. Sao Kyae-seng and Sao Nong Thussandi became one of the most admired princely couples among the 30 Shan states, a semi-autonomous region within the Federal Union of Burma. They ruled Sipa from 1954 until 1962, when General Ne Win's military coup turned their lives upside down. In 1962, Sao Kyae-seng and Inge Sargent's peaceful life came to an abrupt end when General Ne Win launched a military coup, establishing a regime that would hold power in Burma for over 50 years. And still wields significant influence today. After seizing power in March 1962, Ne Win declared himself chairman of the Union Revolutionary Council and stripped the Saufas of their remaining authority. Sao Kyae-seng, along with other ethnic and political leaders, was arrested during this upheaval. The day before the coup, Sao had attended a parliamentary session in Yangon and then flew to Tanggui to visit his terminally ill sister. On March 2nd, early in the morning, soldiers raided the house where he was staying, but Sao had already left for the Heiho airport, unaware of the events unfolding in Yangon. Unfortunately, the military had set up checkpoints on the road to Heiho. Sao Kyae-seng's car was stopped, and the 38-year-old prince was arrested near Tanggui. He was taken to Ba Tu Myo military camp and was never seen again. The military later denied ever arresting him. Other Shan leaders taken into custody in Yangon were imprisoned in Incheon jail. According to Inge Sargent's memoir, her husband, along with a member of parliament, had been accused of funding Shan insurgents and plotting to separate Shan state from the Union of Myanmar. The military placed Sargent under house arrest for 2 years, suspecting her of being a CIA spy. She never heard from her husband again. Although the military denied arresting him, several individuals secretly reached out to Sargent, claiming to have seen her husband in detention. She even received a handwritten letter from Sao Kyae-seng, delivered by a sympathetic military guard at Ba Tu Myo camp near Tanggui, where her husband had been held. Though his arrest and likely extrajudicial execution by military intelligence were never officially acknowledged, Inge, undeterred, contacted one of Burma's most influential newspapers. On May 5, 1962, an article about the prince's disappearance was published, enraging the military. Sargent continued to search for answers about her husband's fate, despite multiple denials from the military. Sources suggest that the prince was killed during his detention for repeatedly denying the charges. Instead of admitting his death, the army sent a letter to Inge in August 1962, claiming that the Saufa had never been taken into custody by the Defense Service. Inge Sargent remained under house arrest until 1964. At the age of 32, she gave up hope that her husband was still alive. Fearing for her safety and that of her 2 daughters, she decided to leave Myanmar, abandoning all her wealth and possessions. She moved back to her hometown in Austria, where she found work at the Thai embassy in Vienna, all while continuing her efforts to uncover the truth about her husband's fate. She later learned that Sao Kyae-seng had been killed in prison, but to this day, the military government has never admitted to his murder. Soon after a troubling incident at Schloss London, Inge and her daughters relocated to the United States, where they settled near Boulder, Colorado as private citizens. Inge, who had converted to Buddhism during her time in Burma, still lives in Colorado today. In 1968, she remarried an American scientist named Howard Tad Sargent, an expert on Antarctica. He was always supportive of her work and her search for answers. Though she moved far away from her former royal life, she never forgot her time in Burma. She continued to wear her hair in the Shan style and never lost her ability to speak Burmese and Shan. Until her retirement, Inge worked at a high school and founded Burma Lifeline, an organization that supports ethnic groups on the borders of Burma. She also created the Sao Thussandi Leadership Award to honor young people promoting civil society, culture, peace, and democracy in Shan State. In early 1988, as Burma faced political turmoil, Inge made her first trip back to Southeast Asia since 1964, visiting Chiang Mai. There, she met Sipa exiles in northern Thailand and was deeply moved by the warmth and love she received from them. In 2000, she was awarded the UN International Human Rights Award for her ongoing support of Burma's ethnic minorities. Her late husband, Sao Kyaw-sang, was posthumously awarded the Distinguished Achievement Medal by the Colorado School of Mines in 2015 in recognition of his work to fight poverty in his homeland. Sao Mayari and Sao Kanari, Ing's daughters, now well into middle age, still write letters to the Myanmar government, seeking answers about their father. Where is our daddy? When is he coming back? Is he dead or still alive? Every year they send letters, hoping for a response, according to Yeong. Inge Sargent also shared her extraordinary life story in her book, Twilight Over Burma, My Life as a Shan Princess, published in 1994. The book was later adapted into a film, though, unsurprisingly, it was banned in Burma. However, the movie circulated widely on the black market, often in pirated DVD form. Inge's story captivated not only the Shan people, but also many Burmese, who were drawn to the tale of her remarkable life. Even now, over 50 years after the 1962 coup, turmoil continues in northern Shan State, with the Burmese army clashing with ethnic armed groups and launching airstrikes against the Shan State Progress Party, Shan State Army, SSPP-SSA. On February 5th, 2023, the Irrawaddy, a news outlet focused on Myanmar and Southeast Asia, reported the death of Inge Sargent at her home in Boulder, Colorado, USA. Mourning ceremonies were held in her honor by local Thai people in Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai near the Myanmar border. Known as Sao Nong Thusandi to them, she was deeply respected as the queen consort of Sepah and Shan State. Though she was born in Austria, the people of Sepah and beyond regarded her as one of their own, a sentiment shared over 60 years ago by Og Karup Nielsen, and still held by many today. She may be gone, but her legacy lives on. 2 days after her passing, Shan Women's Action Network, SWAN, issued a letter of condolence, noting how she touched many lives in meaningful ways, and no one will forget her legacy and the impact she had on them and Shan communities. The love story of an Austrian woman and a Shan prince, first shared with the world in Twilight Over Burma, has once again captured public attention following the death of Inge Sargent, Austrian Shan princess. Inge Sargent's journey from a young Austrian student to the queen consort of Sepah and her subsequent life as an advocate for human rights and ethnic minorities is nothing short of extraordinary. Her life story continues to resonate with audiences worldwide, showcasing not only her personal struggles, but also the broader political and social issues of her time. Though she faced unimaginable challenges and ultimately had to leave behind her royal life, Inge's legacy endures through her tireless efforts to support and uplift others. Her story is a poignant reminder of the enduring power of love, courage, and resilience in the face of adversity. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you found this story compelling, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating narratives from the past and present.